Hey everyone, it's Strange Michael. I hope you're doing well today. I have a Hidden Horrors review here for you for a movie that may or may not count to be something so new. It's a 2024 Tubi original. And you may be surprised by that. If you've seen the posters for some of these when you use Tubi, or if you've ever actually tried to watch one like I did with that, what is that film? There was like a train movie that Jamie Lee Curtis made. I've only seen it one time. I reviewed it for the channel, but I also reviewed the remake of the movie that Tubi did. Haven't touched its sequel that Tubi did on this channel at some point, and it was horrific. It was horrific. I understand Tubi is kind of, low budget, relying on ads and whatever, but I love Tubi. I think Tubi has a lot of really cool stuff to offer you to watch, whether it be big budget Hollywood films from back in the day or 10 years ago, or even sometimes new stuff mixed with a lot of old classic TV shows and cartoons I loved and everything. This is not an advertisement for Tubi though. This is a surprise shock to the system of a movie that I had heard people talk about, mainly a guy that I love and I've talked about a lot on this channel, Sinister Cinema Reviews, Jason. He recommended this movie called Lowlifes. And like I said, it's on Tubi, it's free to watch, completely legal, so on and so on. I am so glad that I listened to Jason's recommendation on this. Lowlifes surprised the hell out of me. It's a slasher horror film, and again, it's so new, I didn't know whether I should call this a hidden horror. It really hasn't had like a year or two to build up the interest and the intrigue like something like Cobweb did, or when VHS 94 came out and it continued VHS, or even when VHS came out. It took about a year for that film to really take off and then get VHS 2 out there for the budget they had, to improve upon some things, to get some great critical reception, so on and so on. This film has not had the time to do that yet. I think it's only been out a few months, maybe 2 at maximum, I don't know. But I'm going to tell you, this movie was so shockingly fun and good and enjoyable. It's got this borderline comedy thing going for it that I loved. I thought the twinge of everything they were going to do with this movie really worked. Now let me tell you up front, there's a lot of really good twists and interest in here, character intrigue. Some of the character writing for this film was so good that I couldn't believe it, especially with some of the things that a lot of people nowadays would misconstrue as wokeness or SJW nonsense. I don't think it's any of that. I think the film itself actually wrote some really great characters in horror film, and in slasher fiction for that matter. If you've been looking for a good slasher that's gory, bloody, fun, and a little bit of comedy to it, look no further than this. Thanksgiving was a great improvement last year in 2023. That was awesome, an Eli Roth slasher. And then I have this year to recommend to you as a hidden horror video. So, Lowlifes. What is this movie about? Again, it's going to sound kind of generic. I can't tell you too much. I can't tell you too much because it kind of completely recontextualizes a lot of the situation very early on. So, basically, there's a family of 4. There's a mom, a dad, a son who is not the best actor in the movie, but he's supposed to be 16, but he looks like he's 20, which is a Tubi original, I understand. I swear that they bought this movie from somebody who already made it. I really believe that. It has this real flair of an actual indie filmmaker making a good movie. Not being financed by Tubi, but being bought out by Tubi after they've already made the product. That's what I would bet on. Maybe I'm wrong. But anyway, there's also a daughter who's kind of in this rebellious stage. They're on vacation, traveling around in an RV, and the dad reminds me a lot of Chevy Chase. He's really good. He has like this Jake Gyllenhaal and Bill, the adult Bill from the original Pennywise It movie from back in the 90s. He looks a lot like that Bill with the glasses and the goofy ponytail. Anyway, this family encounter a couple of rednecks who pull up. Vern and Billy, I think are the names. Vern is played by a guy who looks like a discount Robert Pattinson. I thought it was Robert Pattinson for a second there, but he's too good now. He's playing Batman, for God's sake. I love Robert Pattinson. No trash on him, and no trash on the discount Robert Pattinson, because he's excellent too. He might be the best performance in the movie for me personally. Probably my favorite character. Vern and Billy, though, are very threatening young rednecks. They kind of peek inside of the RV and they claim to this family of 4 that their friend is supposedly missing, but they're approaching it in a very interesting way, kind of threatening way, like I said. They're kind of like, I'm sure that you know something about our friend. I think his name was Mailer or something. Sorry you named your kid after the post office. I really loved Billy and Vern. And the film has this family of 4 kind of being a little bit scared of these guys, but the dad is very much like a white-collar type of dude. He lives in LA with the family. And they're out in the woods right now dealing with this couple of rednecks. And things evolve more and more into a crazier situation that, again, is very bloody, very gory. If you're not down for that, you are not down for this movie, because there is a lot of it, and let me tell you, it is practical effects. They're not like up to the standard and quality and budget of something like Thanksgiving from last year, but they look really good. I would argue they rival something like the 80s and 90s versions of Friday the 13th movies, to be honest with you, with those kinds of practical effects. If you're looking for something like that, this will be for you. I loved this. And then later on, we have another group in a house that I thought were really cool. There's a grandfather and his two granddaughters, and one of the granddaughters' husband that lives there too. I think the one that I really liked was the one granddaughter. I think her name was Savannah. She's kind of a tough chick, uses a bow and arrow, so on and so on. She was a phenomenal character. She was so well written. And everybody in the film, again, except for that one son, I hate to be a douche, but I don't think it was his fault. I think he was just too old for the role that he was playing. Everybody gives a great performance. The dad especially, the daughter that's kind of the rebellious daughter who doesn't want to be on this vacation with her family. She's really good in the film. She reminds me almost in some ways of the chick who played the babysitter in that Netflix movie of series called The Babysitter. If you haven't seen those, go check those out too. But this was such a surprise. And like I said, I never would have watched it because I've seen the other Tubi originals listed, like the posters and everything. They did not impress me at all. But they took the idea from like Netflix and from Shudder and kind of just buy out movies that were probably already made before Tubi was ever in the equation at all, which I think was a smart decision, because if you've seen some of the films I'm talking about, you will know how bad they can get when Tubi has them as an original. This is easily the best one I've seen out of the few that I've seen or tried to watch and quit very early on. Lowlifes is a massive recommendation. It's like an 80s throwback film, like the new retro wave type of music. If you love that kind of thing too, you'll love that. The soundtrack for this film is excellent. The very small score used for it is excellent. Sometimes it's a very quiet film with just characters sitting and talking just a little bit. Not too much in a Tarantino way that just kind of drags on for 3 hours, like this video. But Lowlifes was so immensely engaging. I'm so thankful that I listened to this recommendation because it was a blast in my opinion. Big surprise. Not the most perfect, amazing movie ever, but for what it was as somebody who loves slashers so much, this was a great time. It's not like a masked killer film either, but a lot of things happening in here were a big surprise to me. Very cool film. And again, the performance from the dad alone, totally worth your time. Totally worth your time, aside from other characters being better, in my opinion. So well written. I really loved this. I recommend it a lot. If you haven't seen it, everyone involved did a really good job. The directing was very nice. It looked really solid. I wouldn't put it on like the level of like, think about like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake, which was a massive budget. Obviously, it's not going to look like something like that. But this is like the best of indie film that you could get for slashers nowadays. And when I say indie, I don't mean Thanksgiving from Eli Roth. I mean like, I don't know what kind of budget to really call it. Maybe a $2 million budget, $3 million. It looks great, for real. You should check it out if you get a chance to. Again, it's on Tubi, free to stream, no problems there. I'm telling you, I think you'll really dig this if you love slashers. If you're not a gore fan though, do not watch this because you're gonna get sick sometimes probably. Anyway, so when it comes to Lowlifes, check it out, I'm begging you. If I had to rate the film on a 5-star basis as a hidden horror review recommendation from yours truly, I would easily give this a really high 4 out of 5 stars. I was very impressed. I had a blast watching it, and then I had this thing corrupted with a lot of PG-13-isms and a lot of CGI-isms. Oh man, it was such a good time. I was gonna watch like the first hour of this and go to bed last night. I couldn't do it. I had to finish watching the whole thing. So anyway, what did you think about Lowlifes? If you have seen it, do you love it? Do you hate it? I'd love to hear everything you have to say about it down in the comment section down below. Let me know everything you think. Today is Friday. This would be an awesome time for you to watch this weekend or tonight or whatever. Hopefully you check it out. Take my recommendation. Just listen to me. Watch it. I think you'll dig it. Anyway, thank you all for watching, guys. God bless you once again, and goodbye.